Today we're working on a trellis for our new grapevines. I already set the posts in the ground yesterday. It was drizzling, so none of that's captured on film, but I used the post hole digger on the back of the tractor, and with the lever arm to control it, I actually tilted the auger slightly, and then as you lower the 3-point, that accentuated that tilt so that it actually drilled in on an angle to get the batter on these posts. That way, when we put some tension on the wires for the trellis system, instead of pulling, such that they're leaning in toward the row of grapes, they'll be pulling back up toward vertical. But given how tight in the ground they are, they won't even get back up to vertical. So hopefully this will hold up really well. So what we need to do now is drill some holes through for wire, put in some hooks, and get everything connected. So here's one of the posts. You can see the batter on it, or the angle that's on there. So that hole was drilled in at an angle and then backfilled and tamped tight behind, and this edge of the post is against the firm soil. What I need to do now is just put a mark. We're going to come up around 40 inches, and then we're going to drill across the post perpendicular to the post. I'm not going to drill horizontal because I'm expecting the post to, again, pull more upright as we tension the wire. Then the upper wire is going to be right up here at the top, which is basically 5 feet off the ground. So we're going basically at 40 inches and 60 inches for our two wires. So going to drill holes through this post and the other one, and then we'll start working with the wire and setting the hooks for it. What we're going to be threading through those holes is 9-gauge wire for the top line and the middle line. And I bought 2 of these really inexpensive turnbuckles. One will be for the lower wire, one for the upper wire. Both of the wires will end up connecting to a clothesline hook, which screws in down near the base of the post. So our next step is going to be to install the clothesline hooks, then run the wire through, and again, one side will have the turnbuckle for the lower wire, the other post, the other side will have the turnbuckle for the upper wire, and then the wire, or the end of the wire that's not in the turnbuckle, will just hook and loop onto that clothesline hook. So that's the plan here for getting this set up. So this idea wasn't a bad one. The issue is with this heavy wire, it's so hard to pull it tight that you tighten it up and you run out of travel on the turnbuckle. Now this looks tight, but if we go down to the other end, you'll see that it's not actually pulled through all the way tight. Here's the other end, and we still actually have slack here, so it's getting the resistance from inside the post, and there is tension in the wire, but I would like this to get tighter. So this is just some fiddly work. I'll see if I can snug it up some more, reset things, and pull that a little tighter. So things are in, the T-posts are added here. They'll be between each grapevine just to support the wires. You can't really tighten them quite enough because you're really going to pull these posts in. I fiddled with it quite a bit. If I did it again, I would definitely use longer turnbuckles so that you have more travel to be able to tighten the wire. The other thing is having a metal sheave through the post would help because the wire is actually cutting into the wood as you tension it. I do like the heavy gauge wire because when I come up to it, you know, it's got some nice weight to it. It'll be really easy to tie the grapevines to this wire, and it should provide good support. You know, you can see if I push on this, there's a little slack there, but not much. And now that the T-posts here are in between, it'll relieve some of that from getting back onto the main posts there, which will pull those in. So hopefully that'll prevent me from needing to retension this as much, although I do expect I probably will need to retension these wires over time. This trellis system certainly wouldn't cut it for a commercial vineyard, but for a few vines in the backyard, it's gonna work just fine. So that's it, the trellis constructed. If I did it again, there are some things I would change like I mentioned, but overall I think this went in pretty well and should serve us well.